Now, after saying goodbye to Jules and meeting Otis, who created the ice caves where Clark may be hiding, and seeing Navarro potentially getting marked by the dead, with only 2 episodes left, there are still plenty of questions that remain as we take a look at the latest trailer for episode 5, part 5 of True Detective Night Country, as I'll attempt to break down and solve this case. Now, before we break down this trailer, let me share with you all the synopsis for episode 5. As it reads, Peter digs into the links between Salal and the mining company Silver Sky as Navarro rescues Leah from a local protest to what turns out to be violent. At a meeting with the Silver Sky executive Kate, Danvers balks when Connolly shares the official cause of the Talal men's death and gets a warning against pursuing the case any further. Later, Hank receives a quid pro quo offer. As we open this trailer, we're seeing what closed caption has as a spirit calling out to Evangeline. Now, I've said it in the past before, but the only people that call her Evangeline are people that are very close to her, so I believe this spirit is either her mother or her recently deceased sister, Jules. As we see what looks to be Holden, who says to her, "She's awake," and points to her to go in a certain direction. As we see, this pointing has meaning, and I pointed out, pun intended, this is an example of what we've seen before, as we've seen shots of her mother who did this to her when she was younger. We saw Lund do this in the hospital bed, and the girl killed by Willer, and now Holden. Question is, will Navarro follow this direction? As we hear Liz explaining to who I believe is Connolly that the 2 cases are linked, we see him telling her that the case is officially closed. Now, during this scene, we see shots of police driving towards the mines. We have another shot here of Liz and Navarro, which I believe is a separate scene, as it looks like they may have found a hidden entrance to that cave that is now blocked off. I believe this is the same one that Bryce was referring to that was shut down due to so many different accidents. As we even see this sign saying not to trespass. Now, my question is this where Clark is maybe hiding, and did they get this information from Otis? Now, going back to the scene where Liz is told that the case is closed, and tying it back to the synopsis saying that a meeting took place at the Silver Sky offices, I would imagine that this is happening after Liz probably gives a big speech about the cases being linked, and I believe Kate got to Connolly and made him stop Liz from pursuing the mines. Now, we see a shot of the protest from the synopsis outside the mines as Leah puts on the same makeup that we've seen Annie put on before. We see Liz talking to Peter, and it seems that she's talking about Leah as she says she needs to get how vulnerable she's making herself. Now, again, I believe that she's talking to Peter about Leah, but she may be talking about Navarro after what she did in last week's episode, which was get into that fight, or she could be referring to Navarro, who the synopsis says was involved in the protesting. As we get this shot of a guard about to take a shot at Leah, again the synopsis talks about the protest turning violent, which we can see in this scene, and Navarro saving her to me makes narrative sense. She wasn't able to save Annie, but now she has the opportunity to save Leah, and it'll be really nice to see them share a scene for the first time this season. We get this shot of Hank looking upset about something. I assume maybe he finally found the truth about his so-called fiance, or maybe he's jealous about his son working so closely to Liz, because the very next shot shows Liz, and it's followed by her talking to Peter, and she says to him that he needs to learn to stop asking questions, which is the complete opposite of what she told him back in episode 2 when they were both trying to figure out what happened to the scientist. Now, will Peter finally stand up to Liz and say no, and will he secretly continue to investigate both cases? Now, I also wonder, is Liz telling him to stop after her captain told her that the case is closed? Now, let's talk about this shot here. Now, this is Hank somewhere in the middle of the snow hitting something. Now, this is in the middle of the day, so maybe this is the day before we get the long darkness of this town. Is this a possible flashback that connects him to Annie? Or is this something else that connects as a synopsis mentioning that he's going to take a quid pro quo offer, and it might be an offer from either the captain or Kate? We get these quick shots of Navarro in a police squad car about to head into the protest. Maybe this is the same scene when she actually saves Leah. Now, we get this shot here of Peter who's pointing a gun at someone. Now, I personally believe this is Peter holding a gun up to his dad. Maybe Peter found out that his dad took that offer and he's involved in Annie K's case, and maybe he's trying to put his dad under arrest. Which makes me think of the moment when Hank told his son to remember blood is blood. Will we see Peter maybe shoot his own dad? We get a really quick shot of Liz here, and then that leads us into this shot, which I believe is Kavik giving Navarro that stone that she found at Oliver's because she left it at Kavik's house back in episode 4. As we see Navarro in the middle of the ice, is this where Jules drowned? It may be the same place that Travis took his own life, and maybe this is the same place that Holden was pointing at the beginning of this trailer. We quickly cut to the same location Navarro went to when she fell back in episode 3, the same location she went when she served, and maybe we'll finally find out what that Marine said to her. As we end this trailer with Navarro saying how close they are and it needs to end here, what did Navarro find to get them so close? Was she potentially given information from the dead and maybe her own sister Jules, who died in episode 4? As Liz tells her that it needs to end here, again assuming this is because she got orders from her captain, or maybe something more major happened to maybe Liz saying this. Again, is this Liz actually following orders from her captain? Did something maybe bad happen to Leah? Did Peter shoot or kill or arrest his own father? Or maybe because Navarro got into a fight and maybe she was reported and she's no longer able to be a trooper. As Navarro looks at Liz, and you'll notice she's not in uniform. Now again, she could be off duty, or she got involved in that protesting with saving Leah and she got in trouble because of that, or those guys reported her about that fight. Either way, I am so excited for part 5. Make sure to subscribe to the channel to get more True Detective content. Check out my breakdown for episode 4 and as well as my live after show. Now before wrapping up, it is important to note that episode 5, part 5 will stream early because of the Super Bowl on Sunday. So this Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern time it will premiere, and I'll have my review and recap shortly after. So make sure to share all your thoughts and theories about these trailers in the comments below. You all are awesome, stay safe, and I'll catch you all on the next video.